I used to think I was good with money. Let me tell you how wrong I was. My name is Maya. I'm 32 years old, and until 2 years ago, my entire financial strategy could be summed up in 3 words. Save, save, save. I had the emergency fund, the retirement account, the high-yield savings that earned me just enough interest to buy a coffee, if I was willing to wait 6 months. I thought I was being responsible, smart, careful. I was being small. This is the story of how a jar of copper coins, a retired economics professor with paint-stained fingers, and the worst financial crisis of my life taught me that money isn't meant to be hoarded. It's meant to grow, to move, to work as hard as you do. Let me take you back to the beginning, to the day my carefully built safety net turned into a trap. The layoff happened on a Tuesday. I remember because Tuesdays were my favorite. Far enough for Monday's chaos, close enough to Friday's promise. I was organizing my desk, color-coding my calendar, feeling smug about my 3-month emergency fund and my financial responsibility. My manager called me into her office. Her eyes were kind and terrible. "Budget cuts," she said. "I'm so sorry, Maya. You're amazing. This isn't about performance." It never is it? I walked out with a box of desk plants and a severance check that looked generous until I did the math. 3 months of runway, maybe 4 if I stopped eating protein. I did what I'd been trained to do. I cut, I scrimped, I treated my unemployment like a personal moral failing and responded with punishment. No coffee, no streaming services, no seeing friends because gas cost money and pride cost more. I watched my savings account like a heart monitor, terrified of every beep. Every withdrawal felt like failure. Every dollar I spent was a dollar closer to catastrophe. By week 6, I was broken. Not broke, though I was getting there. Broken. I had turned my life into a waiting room, and I was waiting for permission to exist again. That's when I found the jar. It was in my grandmother's attic. I'd gone to her house to escape my apartment, which had started to feel like a spreadsheet I was failing. She'd made tea, listened to me cry, then sent me upstairs with the classic grandmother directive. Make yourself useful, sort that junk. The jar was under a moth-eaten quilt behind boxes of photographs. Massive, ceramic, covered with dust and something that looked like ancient paint splatter. Inside, copper coins. Hundreds of them. Pennies mostly, but also foreign currency I didn't recognize. Tokens from arcades that no longer existed. Subway coins from cities I'd never visited. And a note in my grandmother's handwriting. For the day you need to remember. I brought it downstairs. She was at her kitchen table, 78 years old, still teaching watercolor classes to seniors, still wearing the paint-stained overalls she'd worn for 40 years. "Nana," I said, "what is this?" She didn't look up from her sketch. That's my education fund." "Your what?" She finally turned. Her eyes were the color of strong tea, and they held mine with the weight of every lesson she'd ever tried to teach me. 1968, she said. I was 22, married your grandfather. We had nothing, literally nothing. A mattress on the floor, a hot plate, and a dream that felt like a joke. She reached into the jar, pulled out a single penny. "Your grandfather found this on the street. Heads up. He said it was luck. I said it was copper. We argued about what to do with it for an hour." She smiled, lost in memory. "He wanted to spend it on a lottery ticket. I wanted to say it, forever. Proof that we had something." "So you kept it?" "I did." She reached deeper, pulled out a handful of coins. But then I learned something. Saving isn't enough. Saving is just waiting. Money that doesn't move dies, just like water, just like love. She spread the coins across her kitchen table. They made a sound like rainfall. I started small, $1 into a savings account, Then I read about a local bakery, struggling, needing investors. I gave them $20, but a tiny piece of their future. They paid me back in bread for a year, then in cash. 20 became 40. She pointed to foreign coins. That one? Bought it from a traveler for 50 cents, sold it to a collector for $5 when I learned it was rare. That one invested in my friend's pottery business. She failed, I lost everything I put in, but I learned. I stared at the jar, at my grandmother, who I'd always thought was just comfortable, secure, lucky. You invested? I asked. You grew money? I made money work while I worked, while I raised your mother, while I painted and taught and lived. I didn't have much to start, but I understood something that took me too long to teach your mother and something you're not understanding now. She took my hand. Her fingers were rough with calluses from holding brushes, from decades of making things. Money is a seed, Maya, not a stone. You can pile stones forever and have a wall, or you can plant seeds and have a forest. But you have to be willing to lose the seed, to trust the dirt, to wait for the growing. I looked at my bank account that night. $3,000. My safety net. My wall. I thought about seeds. I started small, terrified, reckless by my old standards. I took $500, more than I was comfortable losing, and I invested in myself. An online course, not in finance, which felt too big, too scary, in something I loved, restoration, furniture, bringing beautiful things back to life. I'd always been good at it, always fixed my own chairs, my own shelves, never thought it could be more than a hobby. The course taught me business, marketing, how to value my time, how to find pieces that others discarded and see the potential underneath. I bought my first piece with another $200, a water-damaged dresser from a garage sale, $20. Spent a week on it, sanded, stained, replaced the hardware, sold it for $400. I made money, real money. Money that came from work, yes, but also from vision, from risk, from trusting that I could create value instead of just preserving it. I took the profit, split it, half back into materials, more dressers, more potential, half into something my grandmother had mentioned, a low-cost index fund. Boring, unsexy, the kind of investment that grows while you sleep, while you sand wood, while you learn. It felt terrifying. Every dollar I moved from savings to investment felt like jumping without a parachute. Every piece of furniture I bought to restore felt like gambling. But slowly, the jar started filling. Not with copper coins, with something better, with proof. By month 3 of unemployment, I had a business. Small, precarious, real. By month 4, I'd made more from restoring furniture than from my previous job. Not consistently, not safely, but enough to breathe. Enough to see that my grandmother's jar wasn't magic, it was methodology. By month 6, I was hiring my first employee. Another woman, laid off from retail, terrified of her own potential. I taught her to sand, to see the beauty in damaged things. I paid her from profits, not savings. And I finally understood what my grandmother had been trying to tell me. Saving is protection, but protection can become prison. When you hoard every dollar, when you treat money like a finite resource to be guarded, you live in scarcity. You make decisions from fear. You shrink. Growing is different. Growing requires faith. It requires planting seeds you might not see bloom. It requires losing sometimes. My first 3 furniture flips were disasters. Money burned, lessons learned. It requires patience that feels impossible when you're used to instant security. But growth creates abundance. Not just financial, though that comes. Abundance of possibility, of confidence, of the understanding that you are capable of creating value, not just preserving it. I called my grandmother the day I hired my employee. I was crying, but differently than before. Not from fear, from expansion, from the realization that I was becoming someone who could help others grow, not just someone who needed help. "You're learning," she said. "Finally." I lost so much first. Those bad flips, the investments that went nowhere, the months of eating rice and beans because I put everything back into the business. "That's the tuition," she said. "You don't learn to grow money without losing some, without learning what doesn't work. The people who never lose, they're the ones keeping their pennies in jars, waiting for permission that never comes." She paused. I heard her shift. Imagined her in her kitchen, surrounded by her paintings, her life. "Do you know why I kept that jar, all those copper coins?" "Your education fund," I said. "My reminder," she corrected, "that I started with almost nothing, that I was terrified, that I could have kept that first penny forever, safe and useless, or I could have turned it into everything." "And you turned it into everything," I said. "I turned it into a life," she said. "A business that employed people, a home that welcomed people, a granddaughter who finally understands that money is a tool for living, not a reason to stop." I'm 34 now. My furniture restoration business employs 4 people, all women who were told they were unskilled, all learning to see potential in damaged things. We work out of a warehouse that I bought, not outright, mortgaged, leveraged, grown into, using the principles my grandmother taught me. I still save. Emergency fund, 6 months now, because wisdom includes protection. But I don't worship the savings account. I don't treat it like a finish line. I invest in index funds that grow while I sleep, in my business, which grows while I work, in courses, in tools, in people who teach me what I don't know. I make my money move. I make it work. I treat it like a partner, not a prisoner. And I keep a jar on my desk, not copper coins, though I have a few for memory, but notes, ideas, investments I'm considering, seeds waiting for the right season. The lesson, if you need it, money saved is money paused. Money invested, whether in yourself, in education, in businesses you believe in the boring, reliable growth of index funds, is money alive, money working, money becoming more than it was. This isn't about getting rich quick. It's not about gambling or greed. It's about understanding that the safest place for your money isn't always the savings account. Sometimes the safest place is where it can grow, where it can work, where it can become the foundation for a life that's bigger than survival. If you're watching this and you're where I was, hoarding every dollar, terrified of spending, treating financial responsibility like a punishment, I want you to hear this. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to risk, carefully, wisely, with education and intention. You are allowed to believe that you can create value, not just preserve it. Start small. Start scared. Start with a jar of copper coins and the willingness to learn. But start, because the only thing more expensive than investing in yourself is never doing it at all.